All right.
Good morning.
Good morning, buddy.
How are you?
Doing all right, man. How about yourself?
Very good. I'm excited about the training that's going into the group tonight because I don't know. I think it's going to help a lot of people because this is where a lot of people are stuck. So stoked about that. Got a lot to go over today. Actually, we're going to keep this only a half hour, the show. So
Really?
I know, and I'm going to stick to it too.
I believe when we see it.
All right. I know
I'm
it's a
joking.
lot of fun.
I'm joking.
Hey, if whoever's joining, please say hi. We don't see you unless you say hi. Um, if you're a troll, you're doing a good job. That we don't see you. Um, anyways, we got a great deal today. We're going to be talking about branding, and I know that that's like broad, but I don't care if you're somebody with an Etsy site. I don't care if you're somebody selling a widget or a course or consulting. I don't care what it is. There's this branding thing that I think that everyone needs to understand to make you not only stand out but make you stick. And by the way, we're all guilty of sometimes we do this and sometimes we don't. So
Right.
we're going to get into that. We're going to get started here in a moment. If you're here, say hi. Tell us where you're from. I'm just adjusting a couple levels here. Whoops. I don't know why. All right, I think we should be good. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome.
So
I gotta say, when it comes to branding, one of the most important things when it comes to branding, and I don't know if you would agree with this, but number one would be consistent. Hey, John, I see you. Last time we couldn't see his photo.
I gotcha.
Congrats. Welcome. Let's see. No, John, you're good. You're good. Welcome, John. Yeah, by the way, if you do see a StreamYard link, if you want to have your name across the screen, feel free to click on that. Then we can bring you across. Otherwise, just grab a cup of coffee. We're going to talk about branding. We're talking about 52 Creator Challenge this for the whole year. This is week number 2 for those that are in it. Um, pretty excited about that.
Yeah, no doubt.
And not to mention it, it helps us too because I want to see those that do, and I can't wait to celebrate their wins as well. Okay, I'm getting a blinking here. 1 second, let me fix this. All right.
Are we in Link Boss too today?
Ooh, no, we got to
Yeah.
share it.
Okay. That's why.
Let me share right now. 1
Yep.
moment. Hey, talk about your branding with some of the companies that you're with, or even Loud as some of the things that you do with branding. For one, let me just throw that out here: consistency and what your customer will always expect from you is part of branding.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, obviously, it can go in a lot of different ways, but in that ways, I really think they expect to be treated like family. When they walk in, when they walk in the door of the shop, it's more of a community than it is, you know, um, anything else. They expect a warm welcome and you know, um, definitely have plenty of time to chit chat or whatever else they want to do or look around or you know, you're
Without a
right.
doubt.
The length of the stay doesn't matter. They're usually not in or out real fast. You know, um, so I think that's what they expect. When they come in, and honestly, I think they expect us to do a lot of events and things and activities and rides and be a part of it on that side of it. But it also goes hand in hand with with the other side of branding. You know what I mean? Like they also want to support you. So you got to have, cool T-shirts with your brand on it, and stuff they can buy to support it as well.
Yes,
If you don't have that, then you're missing half the equation.
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Okay, it's in Link Boss, the group as well. So
Sweet,
we are
sweet.
good. We are good here. One moment.
But it's funny because obviously your branding strategy is going to be different for what kind of business you have.
Yes.
Obviously from what I just mentioned, that does not work at all with Grub Guys. We got to have a whole different approach for Grub Guys than we do for Loud, because we're shipping, we're delivered to your door.
Yes.
Obviously, you gotta be nice, but sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. So I mean, each strategy is unique for each business.
It is, but I'm going to give some of the basics that you should always follow. I've always, like, I was in, even my brother, my older brother, not oldest, he used to, like, I know this is going to sound weird, but he used to collect, of all things, the McDonald's toys, but he wouldn't open them. Like, he collected them. Now, this is when his kids were little. Devin, welcome. Good morning, Vietnam. I love it. Good morning. So he collected those. But McDonald's even changed. So McDonald's brand changed big time. When I was a little kid, it was the Hamburglar. You had all these things that really attracted kids, right?
Right.
But even going back to, let's go to Grub Guys. Grub Guys, the reason why we went with like that cartoon image, there's a time you want to use it. We even use it with Biz Morning. There's a time you want to use it, but it is the Paul Newman approach to it, that for some reason his dressing, and there's another dressing that was called Stubbs, really they found, including Aunt Jemima syrup, I think they did away with it, which is crazy. But there was something about a face being on a product did better than not.
Right.
If there was no face on a product.
Right.
And then if the face on the product was like cartoon form or character form of the person, it even did even more better. Like, so with that, we kind of borrowed that. But more importantly, with branding, it's this expectation of a customer. So using Grub Guys, what would their expectation be?
Right. I mean, great tasting steaks and food,
It should blow their, so
right.
If they get this steak, it's like, oh my God, they should expect for it to be just like that or better, right? That it should always blow their mind. Like, we have to be a really good steward of the product that we are presenting to our customer.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you ever remember a face on a carton before Paul Newman? Because I really don't. I mean, Aunt Jemima probably maybe a little bit longer, but it wasn't mainstream, I don't think, until Newman did it.
No, and when Stubbs did it, that's just another, that's like a barbecue
sauce. Yep.
Yeah. When he put his face on it, it just went through the roof. But you're right. No, I think he is one of the first to do it. I don't know if it is the first, though. If somebody can find that would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I have, ever since I was a young kid, I was so intrigued with branding. Like, I collected stuff because I loved it. So, but I knew what was attractive to me, like colors. Certain colors were very, especially what is it called? Primary colors. That like orange, right. The red. And that always stood out. But more importantly, what I loved was when I would look at companies. Now, this is when I was in my 20s, and I would be like, yeah, that's not going to work. And it would be that nothing matched. Like, if I see something, I'm not going to say the name, but I saw something the other day and I thought it was a Loud product.
Huh.
But it was another company, different type of business.
Right.
But it was because of some of your branding made me think that was you. So think of how that worked for me.
Right.
Because they will be, Well, it's kind of like Nike. When you see that symbol, you know that
Well,
that's Nike.
you know what's funny is that's exactly where I was going to go. Like, do you remember McDonald's for a little while when they just had the golden arches and that was it? And they
Yes.
took all the names down, but just because of the golden arches, you knew what it was.
Yes.
Or even like a Starbucks symbol now. You know, what I mean, with that girl with the coffee or whatever, and they don't have Starbucks name on it anymore. They just have that symbol because you know what it is.
And I still don't know what that symbol is.
I don't know what it is either. You know what I mean? It kind of drives me crazy. But
and here's what's funny. I'm not no logo expert, but if I would have been somebody on that team, I'd have been like, isn't that a little busy? It looks busy to me. Now I see that it works. If you ever saw their first logo though, like before they chose that one.
John said it's a mermaid.
Is it a mermaid?
I don't know.
What does mermaid have to do with coffee?
Coffee. That's exactly what I just thought. I thought that was interesting, though.
Now, that being said, so let's talk about that. So you got Starbucks, speed, most expensive coffee, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. Right. But more importantly, they created culture. And then, because they created this culture and they were really fast with the drive-through, they got that down, you know?
Right.
And then, of course, giving rewards and stuff like that went over well with the loyalty of customers. So then I'm not going to mention names, but then other companies started doing that because when you see companies like these rewards programs, or you go to a grocery store and they give you the little kiosk thing or whatever you want to call that. Once again, it's rewards like Tops. The more you shop, they save you on their gas, right? So that's their little stick. Yeah. And then, but Tops was doing it before Amazon. I'm sorry, before Wegmans. Okay.
Wait, right. Well, you know what's funny is like back home, like John Eagle has been doing gas rewards for years.
Really?
Like Sam's Club, John Eagle, Kroger's have all been doing gas rewards for I don't know. I mean, a good while.
Somebody could look this up, but let me ask you this. Who do you think was what company? I don't want to give it away. What was the first credit card? This company figured out, yeah, we got to give credit. Who was the first to have a credit card? What bank? What company? Like, what do you think it was?
I mean, I'm totally guessing. I think it was Visa or American Express.
No.
Diners Club?
A gas station.
Was it really?
Look it up. If we have one of those checkers on here, that would be cool. Yeah, it was a gas station. So it was a gas station competing with another guy. And he figured if he could get people to come in on Thursday before they got their paycheck, do you get what I mean? So he extended them credit, but he was the first one, or that company was the first one to issue a credit card. So believe it or not, gas cards were the very first credit card. And then the bank saw, obviously, and it wasn't really banks. It was the credit card company that formed. And then, of course, banks got involved and stuff like that with all of it. But yeah, the very first, did you find it?
Well, no, I put in who started the credit card, and it says John Biggins is a credit card inventor, Diners Club, 1950.
Okay, but see,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like that's why it's not like exactly what you're.
Okay, you'll find it. I was in a course where it's 100%. It was maybe it was credit. Try that. What company was the first to establish credit? I want to say it was credit card though, because I used to own Capital Resolution, so I was real nerdy with the whole where credit even came from. But yeah, that is. Hang on, I got it. One moment.
But it's funny. But you think about the business that's turned into over the last 50 years.
What's that?
You think about the credit card business, what it turned into over the last 50 years.
Oh, well, that's another thing. There's trends, right? So, like right now, there's a lot of buzz about AI.
Right.
Let's see here.
Oh, Quaker Oats. Yeah, Devin said Quaker Oats was the face on the was probably the first one. You might have been right on
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Here it is. It says, okay, foundation solar credit. Anyways, when we
Right.
find it, it's just interesting that you would have thought that it was a bank.
Right.
And let's see, first, oh, here it is. Yeah. 1950, but that's not it.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Diners Club. So maybe that's the card, but the first credit, who cares? All right,
Right.
we're gonna move on.
It doesn't matter.
Here's the first bank was 1958. Think about that. What was the first made available in America in 1951? National Bank made the first. Oh my God, it was a stamped type card. Can you imagine a cardboard card as being a credit card?
No, that's crazy.
They had to take your numbers off of it. So I'm assuming they don't even know if it would be declined or not. Like, how would they know?
Well, no, they wouldn't. I mean, what was it, 20 years ago or now? I don't even know. When you used to slide your card,
Yes.
then turn or slip in with the deposit.
Yes.
You know.
Yep. And they would run the card or the thing over to the card.
Yeah.
To get the impression of it.
Right.
The dispute rate was higher then too. Isn't that crazy? You know why? Because it took so long for the customer to get that bill, and they would forget.
I know.
So they would dispute it. So disputes went through the roof back then. So, you got to look at innovation for what it is. I mean, there's times that it's really good for us, All right. So, yeah, Quaker Oats. Yeah, that's definitely one. And then on cereal, you have, how many faces do you see on cereal? Do you see cereal for kids that just says whatever?
Yeah. I mean, Captain Crunch is about the only face one I can think of off the top of my head. Well, you know what I mean? Besides like Count Dracula or whatever, like
Flintstones.
Thank God, yeah. I still got a 7 and 9-year-old, so yeah, I see that stuff
because it's appealing. That's what they appeal to. Okay, so branding really comes down to this. Logo design is not as important as you think, but it is important. Some people put just too much weight into that.
Right. No,
it is important.
It's important.
And it's really important not to be like, I know, as a matter of fact, John was part of this on some restaurant that he was thinking about getting. And the more, like, that's why I'm really shocked that the Starbucks did so well, because that logo is just so, busy. Usually the logo that is as basic as possible, easy to remember, is better. Look at Nike, Facebook, Coca-Cola,
right.
Pepsi,
all the classics.
You name it. Right. Burger King even is a little, but you do understand when you see the Burger King. They got rid of the King though.
Right.
Did you know that?
I did see that.
What was the reason for that?
I don't know. It's just like Lana Lake's butter. They got rid of the lady,
Isn't that something?
Yep.
Probably because they didn't want kids to make that box.
Yeah.
We all did it. All right. So when it comes to branding colors is another one. Keep it consistent.
Though, it's also, I don't know. For me, it's like one of the funnest processes.
Yes.
Is vetting a logo.
I love doing that. But you want to put a time.
Oh, dude, you could go on for years if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like it's but like it's actually I truly enjoy that.
Most expensive logo. What do you think it is?
Huh. Man.
A lot of people ask me, yeah, what does it cost for a logo? And I said, well, it just depends. Okay, right here.
You got me on that one. I had no idea.
BP, the gas station BP?
Yeah.
They spent $210 million on their logo.
What?
Wait, dude, look at the logo. It's like
right. It's like the white, yellow, green kind of.
Yeah, but you do remember it.
Oh, I do, but it's $210 million for that.
$210 million for that logo.
Holy
Let's
crap.
see, what did Apple's logo cost? 100,000. Wait a minute. I don't know if that's true. Let's see. Why did Steve Jobs? Nope. Yep. 100 grand. So,
and I mean, that's a killer. I mean, like that's an
I think that
iconic logo
is
at its
better
best.
than, yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's, you know, one color, two color, very
Yeah.
simple.
Now listen, if you're
iconic.
creating a course, don't put a lot of money into it, because that course is going to go through a shelf life, if you will,
Right.
But if you have a brand like Loud, Spartera, whatever, like that's different. That's evergreen, meaning that's the company, right?
Right.
Whereas Grub Guys is a brand. It's, we're investors in the Grub Guys, but that's a business of its own. So
Right.
it's got its own logo, its own look. Matter of fact, let's use that for instance. So it doesn't start like, it starts with the logo. It starts with what you do and the quality. Quality, in my opinion, is numero number 10. Like you gotta be known for. This is why so many people. I knew a guy that, like, I didn't know this, but he buys jeans for like, it's like $200 some. I'm like, for jeans? Like, yeah, like they're the best. I want to say they were Diesel. Do you know what those are?
I do.
Okay. So I'm like, what? He goes, oh, Tim, they're perfect. They last forever. They fit perfectly. He talked me into it. Now I haven't purchased a pair yet, but I'm like, oh, because I like quality. That being said, I've got a really nice watch, but a Rolex watch is going to cost what?
Oh, dude, big time cash.
I have a buddy that well, he's becoming a buddy, but Lance, that invests in Rolex watches. I knew of a guy that he's on news that he owns a Rolex, like he sells them online. But at the end of the day, he collects them. He goes, I bought a watch 3 years ago and it's already valued at 50,000 more.
Wow.
I'm like, what? There's some people collect wines, right? So,
right.
But when oh, do you really, Devin? Nice. By the way, you could turn that into a business. Like, I can't believe the money made in that industry. Like, just being a broker of it, like insane. Especially if you're good and you really know wine collectors. If they're really good, look at Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yep.
He was really good. He makes fun of what are they called? Salmonaires or Salmonet? What was it called when you're a wine expert?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
It's something starts with an S. He makes fun of that because he goes, set me down with any one of them and I'm going to, but he really knows his wine. Why? Because he studied it ever since he was a kid, knew it from his dad. I would never make fun of a title. It just lets you, it's kind of like a black belt, right?
Oh, that's cool. Yep.
Just, it means that you know something.
Devin said he's going to start building watches here soon too. That's super cool.
Yeah, Devin, that's a money maker right there. There's a lot of watch collectors out there. I like them, but I know that Grant Cardone paid 800 grand for one.
Holy
and it's
crap.
like, what? Oh, get this one. So when you go to over in Europe, do you know that there's a warning that tells you, hey, if you got an expensive watch, leave it.
Huh?
The people are being like guns to their head. Give me your watch. Why would you want to be a target?
I don't know.
Grant talked about like I don't wear my watch, but maybe 3 times a year. Like what? Now, mind you, if it truly is going to go up in value, okay.
I mean, if it's purely an investment, you know what I mean? Then I guess it's no different than real estate or whatever else. So at least you don't have property tax on it.
I'm still one of those guys. I believe.
I just don't. Yeah,
I believe in growth. That you have every right. If you want to buy a yacht, go ahead. If you want to buy a plane, do it. I'm not one of those haters that look down on people that own. No, I just feel like if I had an $800,000 watch, that would make me feel guilty. Like I would feel a little. I don't know. Think of how many people are struggling, and you got. I don't know. That would bother me a little bit. But I'm not a hater.
Wait, you know what though? But that's what makes this country great because people can put their money. They can put their money in whatever they want. You know what I mean? And that's the fun part of this because There's stuff you and I wouldn't do. That's a huge business, and there's stuff that we do that no one else would do. You know what I mean? But that's part of it. You know?
Yeah. I have this desire. Now I'm gonna blow it in. It's kind of like Christmas. Sometimes like you can't wait. My daughter was always horrible with that.
Dude, you're really bad at that.
I am. No, but it's my goal to someday show up there with your. I know what kind of Bronco you like. It's in the 70s. Right?
Oh yeah.
My goal is to have this thing show up at your place as a gift. I'm more of that kind of a guy.
I'm exactly that guy. Yeah, exactly what I would do is that kind of stuff too. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So
Devin said that they are investments. The watch market is actually down right now.
That's when you want to buy, though.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. You know,
when I was at Prudential Securities or Prudential Financial, obviously we had to get licensed. It's called being a securities dealer, right? Mutual funds, bonds, that sort of thing. Series 7 is a stockbroker. Okay. It's a license that. So at the end of the day, and yes, I agree, something like that needs a license for obvious reasons, like a doctor. I wouldn't want somebody reading from a book and then operating on my head.
No. Even if they did say the Holiday Inn Express last night.
True. But by the way,
branding, exactly.
Good branding. How many of us say that today?
Well, exactly. But that was my point. It's you know what I mean. Like you, that's good branding. You associate that with that.
Did you know this? Did you know that Rolex on purposely? Listen to this one. Well, first of all, let me tell you this. How does Rolex get $800,000 for their watch? Now, mind you, you can buy a Rolex for like 5, 10. I don't even know if it goes below that, but you can buy it for like 10, 20,000. Like that's the deal, right? So,
right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, dude, I mean, if you know me, I'm not a watch guy, so I really don't know. I mean, to me, dude,
yeah.
A friend of mine, who's dad, who's worth a ton of money, would only buy Timex watches.
That was my grandfather.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, right. Like, dude, if he spent more than $35 on a watch, he'd be mad.
Yep. And it's brand loyalty, because for that money, what was the slogan? I wonder if you can still remember this. What's the slogan for Timex?
Keeps on ticking.
Takes a licking.
Yeah, takes a licking, but keeps on ticking. That's right.
See, that's perfect branding. So what did they do? They sold people on, hey, you're going to spend less with us, but listen, this thing's going to last you. So the practical people, you know, a lot of multimillionaires, look at Buffett. He drives a Cadillac. I mean, it's a nice car, but you're not going to see him in these really expensive, like $200,000 cars.
Right.
A lot of them, they dress to where you would never know it, right? They don't want to show their wealth for obvious reasons. I mean,
that's right.
You can be mugged, hijacked, you know. I think there's a price that comes with that. But going back to Rolex, they're selling prestige. So prestige first, quality is right under that. From my understanding, the Rolex watch, matter of fact, it doesn't tick. It just
right. It's seamless or something.
It is literally one of the most precise precision watches out there. So they sold themselves on that. Right. How did they demand that price? Get this one. Ready? Here's what they do. I should pull it up. Hang on. Let's pull it up.
Yep. I don't know if you're familiar with Formula One racing or not. But like they're like the official timekeeper for Formula One, which is like the highest level of auto racing.
Okay.
Like all the timing's done by Rolex and sponsored by Rolex, and because it has to be precision.
Yes. I mean, I think I got it. It's coming.
And then Devin said they did do a good job because they targeted athletes, explorers, that kind of stuff as like advertising, you know, or going after like their target market, you know, like every athlete or celebrity or got to show their bling watch or, you know, that kind of stuff as well.
Yep. I can't find it. A good one here. Boy, I wish I could pull one up, but here's what they do. This is brilliant. What they do when you go to a real Rolex dealer, what they do is they put a watch and then a bunch of empty spaces, a watch, empty space, watch, bunch of empty. it's kind of like a scarcity thing. It shows how many have been purchased. Little do you know, as soon as you buy that watch, you're just putting another one right in that spot. But it makes it appear as though they're popular and people are buying them, and you better hurry and buy this one because this is it. After this one, it's gone. Let's see.
Well, I wonder what the significance is with the number 28.
A good one. I don't know. Devin, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Good question on that one. It's kind of like hotels and number 7. There's something about that too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a luck thing. I don't know. I do not know what that is.
I wonder if he could explain that a little bit.
Yeah. Do you know, Devin?
So I know we got the lag. So we'll.
Yeah. I know that they target athletes because influencers,
influencers. Yep. That's a great term for that.
If Casey Neistat was to come on tomorrow, so watch this. By the way, speaking of branding, now we're talking big name brands, but you can borrow what big name brands do and say how it's that juxtaposition. How can I bring that to myself and follow those rules? And for one, consistency,
right?
Brand loyalty. They got to expect something from, like, what are they gonna? What do I mean by that? You have a restaurant. They should expect the wait staff are going to be courteous. The wait staff are going to be always right there and on it. It's going to be a clean environment. The bathrooms are going to be clean. Like, there's this expectation. And when that expectation is met, they tend to not want to deviate because they know what they're going to get and they demand that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep, totally.
Clothing line. Some people buy from Old Navy because of price. They don't care that they're going to throw that shirt out in a few months.
Right.
Price is more of a concern for them.
Exactly. And I know like we shop at Old Navy for the kids because they're going to outgrow it. Exactly. That's right.
And then so there's that. So you got to be known for something. So with us, Grub Guys, high-end steaks, restaurant quality.
Yep.
It's going to rock your world. You're going to show off at home, but you're going to expect that. So now the next time they order, I've got this I've got the boss coming, or I've got this husband and wife that we invited. I'm trying to do a deal with them or something. I want to, party, whatever. You're going to want to know that you're going to be on your A game. So are you really going to gamble with something that might not have the quality?
Right.
You're not going to do that. So that's what it comes down to. You got to be known to be great. You got to be known, and expectations have to be met. One moment. Okay. There's many reasons, supposedly 28 files that magnify the most. Oh, how funny. Didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that either. Awesome.
Did not know that. That's a good one, Devin.
Yeah, thank you.
You win today's question.
Right. You're right. That's killer.
I love it. I love stuff like that. Yeah, going back to, is that Willow?
Yeah. Yep.
He's saying hi. He's debuting.
Right.
I just love it. So branding, you want to be consistent. Now, I'm going to leave with this, and that's personal branding. Same thing. What do they expect? Like, from you. That's why I believe in the core. It's who you are, where you are now, where you're going, right? Or who you're going to become. We all change, but at the end of the day, your branding doesn't necessarily change. For instance, if you're a really good book, you wrote a really good book, the next time your book comes out, they're going to expect that or better, right?
That's right.
But your loyal fans are going to be the first in line to buy that book if you do it right. The other thing is they can recognize you by seeing your like a logo. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be the name on it. You want to be recognizable just with your branding alone. Going back to Casey Neistat, if Casey right now, talk about brand awareness or brand value, brand has value. So as you build your brand, your personal brand, that comes with a lot of value. Let's say you're going to have a podcast. Let's say you're going to be a coach or consultant of any kind. And eventually you're going to get to this plateau or this area to where now you're going to be writing a book or whatever. once you get there, people are going to come out of the woodwork to want to do a brand deal with it. So once again, let's talk about Casey Neistat. Anyone that doesn't know him, he's a YouTuber, but he's more than that. He does like short videos and stuff like this. He actually sold one of his short films to HBO. He's one of the kind of guys, he quit school, by the way. This guy has no college. Now ironically, somebody gave him an MIT deal and he went for it. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Right. But that was after he has already made it. Okay.
Right.
I think it was MIT's way of bragging, saying Casey Neistat came to our school, which is smart. It's very smart to do that. But if Casey Neistat right now, let's say you had a camera, GoPro typed camera. Remember that guy? We don't need to name names, but remember 360?
Oh, yeah.
There was so much there that could have happened. It's kind of sad. Like, I don't know, but you remember some of our talks like, God, if you would only do this, there's something there by far. But imagine, because what I wanted to do is get it in front of some influencers.
Right.
But can you imagine if he believed in it, or even if you paid for him to say it, but more importantly, if he believed in it? Because if he was using it and he said, hey, everybody, I've been testing this. Let's pretend this is a camera. I've been testing out this GoPro and this thing is killer. I love it. I'm going to start using it from now on when I vlog. How many do you think they're going to sell?
Well, exactly. But I really think you can tell the difference between passion and being authentic than being paid to say something. Like at some point, like it comes out. Like you know what I mean? People, like body expressions or just tone or the word choice. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of tell.
Case in point, the one thing. Good morning, Susie. How are you? Case in point. Let's see. Yeah, Susie, I'll put this here. Not only this one will be in Link Boss immediately, really, within 10 minutes or so. But we also have training tonight, just so I know. By the way, if anyone's not getting email, let us know. Everyone should have got an email. There was a glitch with our email provider there, but that's been fixed. But if you're not getting them, let us know. You should have got one last night or this morning. Let me know. Otherwise, there's some really next level training tonight that's going to really get you going. Oh, nice. Awesome, Susie. Susie, I'm going to come back to Susie here in a moment. And then we're going to end this. Oh, you won that, by the way. You won it.
What did I know? That's the easiest bets I make on it.
See how we are passionate about this stuff. Going back to Casey though, or no, go back to the models. So a model goes, let's just use Brooke Shields. She gets on, I use this shampoo, and it's like, you don't look like that. That's where they go wrong. Why do they do all this with the hair? Because then the next time you see that person doesn't even look like that at all.
Right.
What they should be doing is making them look exactly like they always look. I use this because now it's believable.
Hey, so let me ask you this. Did we hit your bullet points on branding for today? Because I know we've been all over the place with this because obviously this is a fun topic.
Well, that's still branding.
Well, exactly. Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about all branding.
Definitely hit. Yes. So the last one, besides color scheme, stuff like that. So logo, don't put a lot in it unless it's going to be forever brand, Nike, stuff like that. Susie wasn't on. What was the 210 million is so far what
BP,
we found.
You're right.
That was the most expensive logo. Please look at that logo. Please look at BP logo and tell me.
That still blows.
I'll just leave it there.
You're right. That still blows my mind.
Now, mind you, it's a gas company. They got money. I love some of the logos that we have. There was Jubilant Careers with John Caesar. That one cost like $1,000. Folks, you don't have to spend. You can now. There's AI that does it. That's a little scary. I'm afraid they claim there's a guarantee that AI will never make the same thing twice. Okay, if you can believe it, that's okay. Huh. But that would concern me though. Whereas if you go to a logo company, they got to certify that, hey, This is yours. Then you trademark it.
Right.
That's a good one because now nobody can steal that from you.
That's right.
But if you're going to create a program like Susie, I wouldn't put a lot. I mean, make that logo look great and memorable, but I wouldn't put a lot into that because that program's going to morph over time. Now, she's evergreen though. Krav Maga is going to be probably just as important 20 years from now. So technically she could go a little more into the logo, but a lot of people get hung up on that. And I wouldn't if I were you. Lastly, this is it. What are you going to be known for? What can people expect from you? When they think of your brand, they should smile. Like they should be like, if you produce something, yeah, I need that. It's kind of like Tim Ferriss. If he writes another book, am I going to buy that book? Maybe. Most likely. There's some authors I probably won't. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
There's even some people that say, hey, buy this thing. And I know that they're not using it. Case in point, let's bring it up. And this is it. There's a SaaS company out there. I'm not going to bastardize them. It is what it is. But there's people that say they use it. But then when you go to the code source, it's totally a different company. Meaning they're not using it. Now, why aren't they using it? I know why they're not using it. You and I talked about why they're not using it. You got to be careful of companies. It's called funnel hacking. So you have to be careful. They see everything you do. And if it's making money, they admittedly say they're going to create it themselves and also sell it. How horrible is that? I consider that a catch-22. Keith, good morning. Good morning. All right, Keith, just in time for us to end. This is great. We're going to do branding stuff throughout the year for obvious reasons. Right now, we're just kind of getting your the taste of it. But now next week, I want to show ideas, like the framework of a business being fleshed out and the logo designs, variations of it. There was one company, they had a variation, and there was one of the variations I actually like better. But why they chose that and that stuff. But and how you get going though. Some people get stuck with this. They're always in that, I got to make it look great. There's no reason why you can't get going. How many brands do you know, including Wendy's, they changed their logo a few times? GoDaddy changed their logo.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's no different than anything else. There's a progression or in the business and a fresh, right. Like freshen stuff up a little bit. I know we're young, but we probably, that loud, but I mean, we probably have 4 or 5, maybe 6 different logos that we use. Like, you know what I mean? Like the one on my chest is different than the one on the sign out front.
Exactly.
So it just all depends on the purpose and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish.
And what it's representing.
Right, exactly.
Because each logo could represent a different set of something.
That's exactly right.
Like your snowboards or your bikes and stuff like that.
Right. And and some stuff's too complicated for embroidery or you know what I mean, or multi-colors where something else is a little simple and a little easier and a little more cost effective. So
that's where the whole Nike idea, where the swoosh, if you can have an image or a shape that represents your company that you're not infringing on somebody else's, that's golden.
Right.
If you can be known for a symbol of some sort, okay, it's golden. I think it was one of the biggest mistakes when GoDaddy changed their logo. That was an iconic logo. And I like Bob Parsons. I don't care for GoDaddy anymore at all, for many reasons. I don't even care to say it. When you deserve it, you deserve it. They hijack, they sell your domain name. If you forget, sometimes they don't even email you to say that your domain's up. That's when we're like, that's it, done.
Right.
I had to pay hundreds of dollars to get back a domain name. We got no warning. A card after a while expires.
Right.
And if I'm always on auto pay, but when a card expires, you kind of forget what card is where. But guess where it goes? It goes into an auction. I think there's going to be a class action lawsuit. Probably already is. I don't know. I don't want to bastardize though. It is what it is. But one thing I can say, foolish to change that logo. That was an iconic logo. How many times was that logo involved in the Super Bowl, you know.
Oh yeah, no,
that
for
people
sure.
are gonna remember.
That's right.
Can't imagine doing that. All right. We are going to be back on throughout the week as well as next Wednesday. And then Biz Morning Tips once again starts, I believe, Thursday, tomorrow. Starts tomorrow.
All right.
So, and that'll be throughout the whole year. Oh, by the way, we're going to be on Spotify. I should announce that next week. I'll do it again. But we will have the podcast, the actual podcast, that's not this one, that's also going to be on Spotify. All righty. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all, and we will see you on another one.
Yep. Have a great day, everyone.